Wine consumption continues to grow in the United States, and vineyards are springing up in wine-growing regions far afield from well-known production areas like California's Napa Valley. For one vineyard near Cheyenne, Wyoming, it's meant new products for new markets. Harvesting wheat on a sunny July day is just what you might expect to see in the rolling hills of eastern Wyoming. But look again and you'll find another crop that's not perhaps typical in this wheat, barley, and corn-growing region: wine grapes.
Definitely at the very beginning, people thought we were a little nuts, if you will.
Patrick Zimmerer is one of a growing number of vintners expanding America's wine growing and bottling options. Since 2001, Patrick's been growing grapes and operating Table Mountain Vineyards northeast of Cheyenne, Wyoming. It's part of the country that can get up to 3 feet of snow each winter.
Compared to grapes being grown in California, Europe, or some of the traditional areas, it is definitely a challenge just because our grapes face extreme cold. We're anywhere from 15 to 30 below zero at any given time.
The vines grown here are hybrids designed to withstand harsh weather conditions. One variety is known as Valiant.
The Valiant is actually one of the very first hybrid grapes developed in South Dakota, and they believe it can tolerate like 55 to 60 below zero, and they still manage to come back. So we're pretty sure that the Valiant vines will be here long after we all are. So this is the new Rooster Red, the Valiant from 2011.
Patrick's family has a long history in agriculture. The vineyard came as a result of continuing efforts to diversify what the land was able to produce.
The farm itself has been very diversified since that time. It's been a sheep feeding operation, a cattle feedlot operation. We've grown hay, sugar beets.
The idea to grow grapes actually began as a thesis paper in college.
As we did a little research into different varieties of grapes, we found 14 different varieties that we thought could grow here.
The startup plan earned Patrick $10,000 in seed money as part of a business contest at the University of Wyoming. It was an interesting farming idea to his grandmother.
I kind of thought he was crazy, but then I thought, well, let's try something new. And, you know, with your grandchildren and even your own children, you just, whatever they want to do, you want to help them get ahead. So I was very excited.
Cheers. Cheers.
The first harvest in 2004 yielded grapes from half an acre. Today they've grown to 11,000 vines on just about a dozen acres. Much of the marketing target has been on wines that are fruit-based.
We produce a honey wine, some raspberry wine, strawberry wine, and when we first started, we were very small. I think our very first harvest was about 400 pounds of grapes. And so we thought we were the gallows at that time, and so we would make wine out of anything that we could get to ferment. So we've made anything from apple, pear, peach, anything that's grown in Wyoming, that's a fruit that we can turn into wine. We've experimented or tried throughout the years.
The fermenting process is done in polyurethane barrels rather than the typical oak casks. Patrick says this allows the fruit to more adequately ferment with the wine grapes.
The yeast is converting the sugar into alcohol. We have about 75 pounds of cherries per barrel here, and it's all fermenting away, and in about 2 weeks it'll be cherry wine.
The winery's products have already been recognized with a number of awards.
Well, I think it's great. I love of course, I like sweet wine. I don't like the dry. And so SOB is one of my favorites, and the cherry. But I taste them all. A lot of times after a hard day, of work, we sit and all have a glass of wine.
We got wine going to Gillette and Cheyenne and Casper, and I think that's it for now.
The marketing at Table Mountain has definitely become a family affair, with the bottled products shipped to stores and restaurants across the region.
About 2 buds down from the bunch of grapes, you just prune off that excess.
The success at Table Mountain has also inspired others in the region to try their hand at winemaking. One is the smaller startup known as LaGrange Vineyards.
Nobody knew anything about grapes, and we've tried several different varieties. Some were successful, some were not. Anyway, I have, in this acre, I have an acre and a half of grapes here, which is 1,000 plants, and they're giving me between 7.5 and 8 tons of grapes a year, which I sell to the winery, to Patrick at the winery. And they have 10 times that many grapes. But this is 1,000 plants, about what a family can handle.
Patrick says he's gratified by the success that the vineyard has enjoyed so far, all from a college paper that turned into a career.
I do think it's a success story for any agriculturalist to be able to start something, carry it through, and be able to promote the industry and hopefully start a new industry for other growers as well.